the boxing business. What do you expect, guys?
It's nice to get a straight answer.
I forgot who I was talking to. We turn our attentions now to a fight featuring old familiar face here, still hungry fighter, Marco Antonio Barrera, as he will get tested tonight by a guy by the name of Adailton de Jesus. De Jesus at 32 years old and Barrera at 36. Other than that, really not a lot to choose. De Jesus has a little bit of a reach advantage, and he best use it against Marco Antonio Barrera. Again, the rules, a 10-point must system, no standing 8 count, nor is there any 3 knockdown rule. Fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the final round. The referee will be the only one who can stop the fight and go to the scorecards after the 4th round. Well, if there's a guy whose work you're familiar with, Rich, it's Marco Antonio Barrera. You've been with him a long time.
Right, I called so many of his fights when he was just coming up, when he was the baby-faced assassin in those days at fighting at the Forum out in Los Angeles, promoted by Forum Boxing. Then turned out to be a great champion. Now he wants to see what he has left, and I think this guy is a good measuring stick. The guy that you're looking at right now, Adailton de Jesus, good fighter, not a great fighter, but a legit fighter, and so it'll be a measuring stick for Barrera.
Absolutely. I mean, and Barrera deserves that. I mean, this guy is not a killer, but it's a good fight for him to get back in the groove. Barrera has a big name. He adds excitement to this big card. He's very well known. And, you know, Barrera wants a 4th world title, and that's what he's looking for. He said 3 or 4 more fights, and I'm done.
De Jesus comes out of Bahia, Brazil. He is 26-4, and he does have a little bit of pop. He's knocked out 21 of the 26 fighters that he has defeated. He's won his last 4 fights by way of knockout. Of course, they are not against the caliber of opponent that he is going to be looking down at, and I mean down at, tonight. But I think it's a fair fight.
Yes, every time he stepped up in level, he pretty much lost to Yurikas Gamboa, the Cuban fighter, who's I believe I'm really impressed with Gamboa. That's one of his losses. Got knocked out in 6 rounds by him. So that tells you what kind of fighter De Jesus is.
And here's very popular Marco Antonio Barrera.
This is one of the greatest fighters in Mexican boxing history. I believe he's top 5, right around that spot, 4, 5, 6 of all time.
And he is quick to say that he did not retire. He never announced his retirement. So this is not a comeback fight for him. He's been working as a broadcaster, some Spanish language television. And he says, I want 1 more title, 3, maybe 3 fights before that, maybe even not 3 fights. Fight for the title, win the title, go back to being a broadcaster.
And, you know, I had a chance to participate in a conference call this week with Marco Antonio, and I asked him, I said, do you feel different in your body? When you got back into the ring, did you feel different? And he said, I had to admit, he said, I do feel the change in my body. I'm not the same as I was when I was 20.
Well, certainly not. Certainly it's a bigger body.
That's for sure.
I mean, he's fighting now, what, 20 pounds heavier than he was then. But a special fighter and a great champion, and that's how he will always be remembered regardless of what's in the immediate future for him. But first things first, and as you said, this is a real measuring stick for him fighting De Jesus.
And he's coming off a defeat at the hands of Amir Khan, but he was gashed badly in the 1st round, and he never felt that he really had an opportunity to show what he could have shown that night in England.
And with that, we take it to the center of the ring, and Lupe Contreras.
Ladies and gentlemen, if we may have your attention, please. Ladies and gentlemen, we have your attention, please. Before we continue with our co-featured bout of the evening, we'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge one of the most accomplished individuals in the history of the sport. For many years, he has labored behind the scenes, engineering some of the most distinguished careers in the sport of boxing, including some of the greatest fighters of the past quarter century, including Michael Carvajal, the Golden Boy, Oscar de la Hoya, Eric El Terrible Morales, Floyd Mayweather Jr., Miguel Cotto, Kelly Pavlik, among many others. A few weeks ago, he received the greatest honor anyone in the sweet science can receive, which is induction into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. If you'd be so kind, a big round of applause for legendary matchmaker, from Top Rank Incorporated, Bruce Trampler.
Who's that guy with Bruce Trampler?
He's so shy.
He really is. He doesn't want the spotlight at all.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the Alamo Dome, it is our co-featured bout of the evening, scheduled for 10 rounds in the super lightweight division. Damas y caballeros, este es el combate coestelar de esta noche, pactado a 10 asaltos en la división peso super ligero. Los jueces son, the judges are Rubén Carrión, Joel Elizondo, and Chet Robbins. The referee, Wilfredo Esperón. Introducing the blue corner. He steps in wearing orange trimmed in black, presentando la esquina azul. Vestido de color naranja con vivos negros. His official weight, 138 pounds. Su peso oficial, 138 libras. With a professional record of 26 victories against 4 losses, with 21 of his victories coming by way of knockout a nivel profesional. Mantiene un récord de 26 victorias, con solo 4 derrotas y 21 victorias por la vía del knockout. Fighting out of Sao Paulo, Brasil, Adailton de Jesus. His opponent across the ring in the red corner. He steps in wearing blue, trimmed in white. Su rival en la esquina roja, vestido de azul con vivos blancos. Su peso oficial, 141 libras. His official weight, 141 pounds. As a professional, he maintains an impressive record consisting of 65 victories against only 7 losses. 43 of those victories coming by way of knockout with 1 no decision a nivel profesional. Mantiene una carrera impresionante de 65 victorias con solo 7 derrotas, 43 victorias por knockout y una decisión nula. The 5-time world champion in 3 different categories. El 5 veces campeón mundial en 3 distintas divisiones. De Iztacalco, Ciudad de México, DF. Marco Antonio Barrera.
Cuidado con el golpe abajo, cuidado con el cabezazo. Escúchame todo el tiempo y protégese todo el tiempo. Aquí está bueno. ¿Okay? Esto aquí. ¿Está bien? Lo que aguante. Buena suerte.
That was a grand ovation for Marco Antonio, who quite obviously still has his fans. The question now, does he still have his skills?
Well, and that's the answer that we're going to get tonight. Fighting a much taller opponent.
Said it reminds him of Kennedy McKinney.
Yeah, that's right.
Gave Barrera a great fight. Fought a lot of tall, lanky guys. Junior Jones, another guy that fought Barrera.
I think this really is all about Barrera. It's not so much about De Jesus. De Jesus is a journeyman. He's going to beat guys he's supposed to beat, and has lost to guys that he's supposed to lose to, quite frankly.
You know, he's got a pretty heavy punch, though.
Yeah.
And he's scored 20 knockouts in his 25 wins. And even in the bout that Raul referenced, the fight against Yuriorkis Gamboa, he knocked Gamboa down in that fight.
Yes, he did. Well, and you know, and he's a bigger guy. Barrera is coming up here.
Well, you know, Barry, you mentioned that he's 20 pounds more. It's actually even more than that. When I first started seeing Barrera fighting at the Forum in Inglewood with Los Angeles, California, he was fighting at 115, 117 in that area.
Now this fight in the super lightweight division. Barrera looking sharp early in this fight.
Yeah, and right away you could see his experience. He's just taking his time. He's not loading up with his punches. Setting him up. Good, nice right hook to the body there. Good body shot by Barrera.
Yeah, 3 of them.
Yeah, touch and jab, and then 3 hooks to the body.
Barrera trying to work the body early in this fight with De Jesus.
He's a great professional. Again, when he was coming up, he was pretty much a brawler. And then he just turned his style around brilliantly and became a boxer puncher, and a master one.
So far, De Jesus just in there as an observer more than he is a competitor.
It's a very important fight for Barrera because promoter Bob Arum of Top Rank said if Barrera can win, he'd like to match him in a title fight, maybe within the next year, maybe one more fight before the title fight, but then at least a title fight possibility with Humberto Soto or Miguel Acosta. So, you know, it's very important for Barrera, who has dreams of being the first Mexican to win in 4 different weight divisions. 4 titles.
4 titles in 4 different weight divisions, and I think Humberto La Zorrita Soto best fits the style for Barrera. But even though he said it don't matter, whoever they give me Acosta, the other champion, or Soto, I'll be ready for any of them.
So far, an impressive first round for Marco Antonio Barrera.
El balde. Respirando. Thank you.
Breathe deep. Do it again. Do it again. A little bit of head movement. More head movement.
Só levanta a mão. Ele vai trabalhar embaixo. Quando ele vir para cima de você, você não para. Vai quebrando para lateral. Quebra para lateral. Não para. Levanta essa mão. Respira.
Breathe, breathe.
Seemed to be a little bit of a disagreement in the corner of De Jesus.
Well, they were talking Portuguese there, but it's a little bit like Spanish, so I was trying to translate. I don't speak Portuguese, but
Portuguese,
I was doing my best.
You know, this is what is really great is this card here tonight fits right in with the international flavor of sports that's going on right now with Wimbledon, with the World Cup of Soccer. Here we've got Mexico against Brazil. In our main event, we're going to have Mexico against Ireland.
That's right.
Love the international flavor. Tapia, by the way, which you see on the back of Barrera's trunks, is not a tribute to his good friend Johnny Tapia, whom he once defeated in the ring.
Right.
But it's his mother's maiden name. He's had Tapia on the back of his trunks since the very beginning.
Barrera has just been the busier of the two. His double left hand from De Jesus. De Jesus trying to move laterally.
Yeah, I don't think De Jesus wants to engage with Barrera. I don't blame him.
Yeah, good idea. You know, the other thing De Jesus does is he's got a big size advantage.